so happy to have you here. This is a safe place for you and I to just coexist. So relax, you are welcome, and let's just get your mind off of whatever has been bothering you lately. Today's video is actually, it's kind of an interesting video to make. I actually just filmed a video that I just felt something like a spirit. You can check out the video here. It's halfway through. And I just wanted to kind of make a video talking about my experiences with spirits and ghosts and all of that, because I find it really fascinating. Before I continue, I would love to hear in the comments if you have had any stories like this with beings from other realms or anything. Just let me know in the comments, and because I find it really interesting, and I would love to hear your what happened to you, because no one really talks about it. But let me just tell you my experience. So I think it's really only happened, I think, twice. Well, now kind of 3 times, but twice. Happened twice. I'm just writing it down right now too. So one time, actually, it's been happening kind of more frequently than normal. One time, the time that I felt a presence and a ghost was actually in the fall of this year. I was in London and I was in an airport, and I was just sitting outside a restaurant, and I was eating these vegan mac and cheese balls. Don't know why, but I was in London. I was in Gatwick, and I was sitting all by myself. There was no one around me. I was charging my phone, and I was sitting in a chair that didn't have a seat rest in the back, and I was looking down at my phone, and then it was interesting. I think I was doing Duolingo for French, and then it was interesting. I immediately felt someone touch my shoulder, and it was weird because it was startling but not. And then I immediately pop up and I turn, and there's no one there. And it's weird, right? Because I knew I was touched. I knew someone touched my shoulder. It wasn't one of those things where it could have been the wind, or it could have been someone passing by. I know what that feels like, and I'm sure you do too, where you can immediately jump to being something else. But when this happened, I immediately turned around and I immediately was whoa. My brain shut off and just froze because I couldn't logically make sense of it. There was no one around me. There was no wind or anything. And what was so interesting, all that I thought of, I literally felt that I turned, and I literally had a vivid feeling, or a vivid sense, and I just thought of my grandpa, which was really weird and emotional. It was my deceased grandpa. His name's Victor Poe. He passed away when I was 6. And it was weird. I immediately just was in the present, and I thought of him, and it was weird. It was just I knew it was him. I know that might sound crazy, but it wasn't. It almost felt like it was a sign. And then I just went to my gate. It was almost as if him telling me, because I wasn't paying attention to the gate numbers or whatever, and it was almost him being go over there and check. And so I did. And I don't know why, that was important, but for some reason I needed to do that. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. It's very intimate. It's a very interesting feeling, and so I felt that. And that was my second time feeling it. The first, and what's interesting is the second time I felt it, I really kind of allowed myself to feel it, because I was this is another one of those moments, so I'm just gonna embrace it. I think when we get older, I don't know when we're younger if we can tap into it more, but when we're older we like to push things off aside, right? But if you actually if you try and just be a sense with yourself, I think you can actually feel it sometimes. It's people around you, spirits around you, just energy. You can call me crazy, that's okay. But it felt real, and it was real. The first time that I really felt something that really changed my mind, to the fact that I had a journal about it, was, I think it was actually that year too. It was like in the spring. I've always had this, like, I feel like interesting connection with people and just spirits, and I've been very spiritual. But this is TMI. This is very personal. I really don't share this stuff with a lot of people, so please be easy. This is my personal life. This is open about me. I am queer, so I'm part of the LGBTQ community. We are awesome. If you know of anyone in the LGBTQ community, give them a thumbs up. It's not easy being a part of the community. We face a lot of struggle, but also we're really good people. Everyone's very lovely. Even if you're straight, be an ally. It's like all we are about is just love and embracing ourselves, and you should too, whether you're straight, gay, bi, asexual. It's all about just accepting yourself, right? So, I'm queer. I was on a date with a man, and we went to a bar. It was our first date. We went to a bar. We got food and drinks and everything, and then we went to his car, made out, and then we went back to his place and we became intimate. We became intimate, and we didn't do like everything, but we were both, nude, and it ended up with us laying in bed together. And we were laying in bed together, and I was like looking towards the ceiling. And this sounds so crazy, but I felt like someone else. I felt like not Nick. I felt like this guy named Jerome, which was interesting. And and the guy doesn't know this, but I immediately started crying. Like, I immediately started welling up with tears in my eyes. And I get emotional thinking about it now, because he was just like next to me. And that's what happened. He was next to me, he started touching me, and I had this vivid name, this vivid being, and then I just started getting really emotional. And Jerome, I think I learned about him. It's interesting. I think I learned about him in the spring. He's one of the I learned about him. I learned that Poe, who I just talked about, had a brother who was openly gay. And I think he lived a very hard life. He didn't really get married. He didn't settle down or anything. And I learned about that, I think. And then I had this experience where I was there with another man, and I started crying, and I got really emotional. And I felt really connected to him. It was so strange, it was so vivid, it was almost like I was like him, and it only lasted for like 2 minutes. But I had this moment where I just felt like I knew him. And he was like born in like the 1900s, so it was really interesting where I felt really connected to him. I just knew his name and knew about him. And then I asked him, so I only knew about his name, I knew that he was gay. And I asked my mom, I think later this winter, and she told me about like his whole story about how he didn't get married and everything. And so I didn't know all that. I didn't know he was very like happy and stuff. And yeah, but I was in bed, and like I'm trying to walk through it. I was in bed, and I think it was like stroking my hair, and I just like closed my eyes, and I just felt like I wasn't Nick for a second, and I just started crying. To the point where then I went home. I think I left, and then I sat in my car, and I was just like really like awake. It almost felt like I had a veil over me. me. Like I was seeing things. Like it was so interesting. I was in bed and it felt like I was in a hole, like I was dreaming. And then I like woke up in my, like I like felt like I woke up in my car and I was naked again, and I was like, that was something. Like that was just something I couldn't explain. Yeah, so I don't know if you've ever done that, had that, but it's something I've held really personal. I don't think I've ever told anyone that. It doesn't scare me if it like humbled me a lot. I don't know if that's how you would describe it too. It just like humbled me and made me really emotional because I felt like I tapped into their energy, and I've tapped into like, I just felt like I knew what he went through. And like when Bo touched me, I just felt love. Like I just felt love, and I felt protection, and just to trust. Like it's not anything scary. It's interesting figuring out like what triggers that jump, because it's almost like a sense that it's not like the five senses, it's like a whole other sense, and I don't get it. I don't know if you get it. Let me know in the comments if you get any of this. I feel a little crazy talking to y'all about this, because you could just be like, Nick's crazy. Like, why does he feel these emotions? And why does he think they're connected? But yeah, it felt real. And isn't it interesting that like I felt like it connected to a certain person, right? And these are people I don't usually think about. I never think about Jerome. I never think about Bo. Like I sometimes do, but like not often. And it's just interesting. I felt that. Now the reason I bring this up is because in my last video, which you can actually, I think I posted it, I'll make sure I post it before this video, you can see halfway through the video that I feel something, which is weird. Like, and I'm filming this the same night because it just freaked me out. There was a gust. You can see in the video, I feel like there was a gust of wind. My windows are shut. There's no like air in here, and you can see I try and go on with the story, and I do, but there's something that's like holding me back. I don't know what that is. I still feel the residual effects of it. It was interesting. I was talking about something, and then it happened, and my train of thought like went somewhere else, almost as if it didn't want me to talk about the thing I was talking about. And I felt a lot of resistance, but I kept going. Yeah, so that's, I guess, number 3, but I don't know what this one is. I hope it's a friend. But I think it's interesting. Like, I think if we stay open, I think you and I will both be surprised on like what we can actually sense and what's out there. There's only so much we know, you know. We don't even know about the universe. We don't even know everything about the ocean, what's on our planet. And it would be dumb to think that we only know what we have learned so far. There are so many senses we probably can't tap into, but maybe we can. And I just say stay open and don't be afraid. I think a lot of energy sources, or ghosts as you say, they're trying to tell you something, or they're trying to give you something, or warn you for something. And I think if you're sensitive enough, it could be really useful. So yeah, I'm kind of shaken up a little bit, but that's why these lights are on. I usually film with like a colored light in the back. If you can tell in my other videos, I turn the lights on because I just wanted to be in the light a little bit to talk about this stuff. But yeah, if you could let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced anything like this, and I guess like what you think this is. I think it is, yeah, maybe not what it is, but I don't know. I can't even process it anymore. Yeah, that's just kind of my story, I guess. Yeah, let me know your experiences, I guess, in the comments below. And if no one's told you, thank you for being here. Thank you. I keep looking over here because the camera's usually on this side, but you're over here today. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I guess what? Yeah, so I guess what I want to say is I think it's really important for us to tap into the energies around us. I guess don't be afraid to reach out to people that have passed on or you think get passed on that you really care about. This is me telling you to put your energy into doing that again, and maybe just think about those people and see what you believe and if you believe they're around you or not. So yeah, you are so loved. Thank you so much for being here. Obviously my video died, but I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful day. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.